Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bicouvaris.
And thank you very much, Ken Johnson. Abbreviated version of a Sports Scene, half-hour edition, right here at 12:32 on News Talk 1650. Hope you enjoyed the Admirals' early morning action hockey. What do you think about that, Kenny?
A little odd.
But it was all good, though. Of course, Admirals always excellent entertainment right here on the radio. Of course, this is Sports Scene on this November 18th. Interview show each Wednesday from 12 to 1. We'll be back in full next Wednesday on Thanksgiving Eve from 12 to 1. Sports highlights on nnpstv.com. Tell your friends about 1650. Twitter, Greg Bick, Sports Highlight, GJBTV, HR1LineMall.com. Thank you to our military, great guest lineup as well as always. Sponsors on GJBTV.com, Marketplace sponsors, and the homepage. Guest lineup presented by Hampton Roads, OneLineMall.com. Browse, shop, visit. Phone line presented by Spaghetti Eddie's in Chesapeake with 2 locations. Sponsors this month on WHKT through me are Spaghetti Eddie's, Crawl Space Stores, Finks, and Mehogar. And of course, we mentioned GJBTV.com, Hampton Roads, OneLineMall.com. Getting ready for the holidays. Browse, shop, visit on Hampton Roads, OneLineMall.com as well. All right, we're going to come back. We got some special guests. We'll still do all our highlights, what teased me off, and a lot more. An abbreviated version of Sports Scene, Greg Bicouvaris, along with Ken Johnson, live right here at 12:33, 1650 on the radio, at Greg Bick on Twitter, tunein.com, type in WHKT. We'll be back after these messages.
When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today. Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet.
Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Mehogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mehogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mehogar has 2 locations, 4201 Granby Street in Norfolk and 801 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Call ahead at 640-7705. At Mehogar, there is something for everyone.
Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads OnlineMall.com studio. It's now time for Greg's Highlights, presented by Hampton Roads OnlineMall.com.
Thank you very much, Ken Johnson. Again, abbreviated version of Sports Scene up until 1 o'clock. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us. Really impressed by what Old Dominion did this past weekend in football as they get 1 game away from becoming bowl eligible. Congratulations to Bobby Wilder and his staff as well. Really impressed by the camaraderie between Wilder's defensive coordinator as well. I think that is really the answer for 2015, all the quarterback changes and so forth. And, of course, doing a good job. GJBTV.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. Shop on the Marketplace sponsors. Save the date each Wednesday from noon to 1 for Sports Scene. At Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, at GJBTV, and HR1LineMall.com. What Tees Me Off coming up. Of course, great guests. NFL Redskins playing very well, beating the Saints. And of course, the Saints getting rid of their defensive coordinator Ryan afterwards. College football, the top four. Of course, you see Clemson and Alabama, Ohio State, Notre Dame. NBA already getting rid of Coach McHale with the Houston Rockets, which to me is absurd as well. And of course, save the date each Wednesday for the best back-to-back talk shows in Hampton Roads. Sports Scene at noon, followed by the Sports Philosophy Show at 1 p.m., both heard on News Talk 1650 and on TuneIn.com by typing WHKT in the search box. Depend on it also in the Daily Press TV radio log. The locals tradition is CP Shuckers, with locations on Shore Drive and Pacific Avenue. People love their prime ribs, seafood, pasta, burgers, wings, and much more. Wednesday night, Chef Leon has bar bites at Shore Drive, which of course is tonight. Monday night during Monday Night Football is wing and shrimp night, and Tuesday is crab leg night. Wear your college team attire and get half off all pitchers on Saturday. CP Shuckers is your home for football, showcasing the SEC, Big Ten, Pac-12 networks, and all the college and NFL games. Like both locations on Facebook, and log on to cpshuckers.com. Eat or be eaten at CP Shuckers as well. And of course, a lot going on, as we mentioned, with college football winding down, NBA, college basketball, Old Dominion off to a good start in men's basketball. UVA already struggling, losing to George Washington. And congratulations to Wayne Mary recently beating NC State in the ACC as well. So, right here, this is Sports Scene up until 1 o'clock. We have Coach Merrill on right here, former colleague of mine on the game. We've had him on here several times also in Sports Highlights. Coach Merrill, how are you, my friend?
Great, Greg. Great to talk with you again.
Very good, very good. Thanks for being so flexible in this abbreviated version of Sports Scene. Let's start off with the top four in college football. You see Clemson holding court, Alabama, what else is new, Ohio State, Notre Dame. But still, there's several parameters left. There's still plenty of bowl championships and all that stuff, and of course the conference championship. So still a lot to be played out. But this should be interesting with Ohio State, Michigan State, and Ohio State, Michigan coming up.
Well, first of all, Greg, backing up here with the college football playoff ranking system, I agreed with Joey Galloway, who said 2 weeks ago when this poll first came out that anything that you're seeing now doesn't make any difference. And I agreed with him then, and I do now. When I look at the top six right now, I see all of them have their everything's in their own power except for one, and that's number four, Notre Dame. They're 9-1. However, I can't understand if Oklahoma State runs the table, beats Oklahoma, how that you would keep them out. Notre Dame, in my opinion, would drop out. Iowa, same thing. If they run the table, that means they would probably beat Ohio State. If that would be the case, Ohio State's out, Iowa's in. So as you just said, everything plays itself out over the course of the next couple of weeks. So I'm still not paying that close attention, but I will say this, for all you North Carolina fans, watch out, because history could be made. There's a scenario out there where North Carolina could, and I would say and argue should, be in the top four if they were to run the table and beat Clemson. Talking to Coach Merrill, this is Sports Scene live on the radio. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us at 1240. Also on TuneIn.com, type in WHKT to listen on your phone or your computer. At Greg Bick, go ahead and plug your Twitter handle, Coach. It's at Doug Merrill, at Coach D. Merrill.
There you go. Okay, Coach, and you talk about what's going on with college football, and then you talk about locally, a lot of news going on with Coach Beamer announcing his resignation effective at the end of the season. You could see the handwriting on the wall. He's been there since '87. Them in Virginia, really disappointing years, and especially for Virginia, it's just almost kind of like the Cowboys without Romo. They get close, but they can't close the deal.
Yeah, they can't seem to get over the hump. As you know, for years I have always said I can never quite understand why Virginia cannot get over the hump in football, not only in wins, but just in recruits and the overall program. I've never quite understood that. They've got the facilities, they have the campus, they certainly have all the programs that would draw anybody to want to go to that campus. So I've never quite understood that. In regards to Tech, tradition is there, but they haven't quite got over the hump, so to speak, as far as expectations that the fans have to say. So while I salute Coach Beamer for a great career, I have always said, it's good. I always give things, a short amount of time, and it's time for a change. This can be an exciting time for Tech fans because you can get out there and get yourself a new head coach. And I would recommend you get somebody young, not somebody that's been around for a long time. Let's get a young assistant coach. And when I say young, I mean somebody in their 30s that is just hungry. But I do think it's important to bring up that there are 5 notable colleges right now. They're all looking for head coaches, that being South Carolina, Virginia Tech, USC, Miami of Florida, and Missouri. So Tech is going to, while that's, and it is a alluring job for any coach, They do have a little competition out there, and I'm sure they're getting, they're already started their search, but there's some competition.
Talking to Coach Merrill right here. This is Sports Scene. Greg Bicouvaris, glad you're with us. Abbreviated version after the Admirals game. We'll be back next Wednesday in full from 12 to 1. And, of course, go to gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link for archive shows. Reminder at TGIF's NFL Sunday Ticket every game. Watch all the games. Great food and beverage specials right there in Virginia Beach. Open for lunch, dinner, and late night. Let's switch gears to the NFL because, like you mentioned, Virginia and Virginia Tech are definitely in motion, as well as University of Miami and so many intriguing college coaches. But Peyton Manning injured. He's getting older and older by the week. He's being erratic. Still a bad Peyton Manning is still a pretty good backup quarterback. It just doesn't seem like, Coach, when these quarterbacks do come to play, these backup quarterbacks are just not ready. The Cowboys showed that, and so Cleveland, your team, has showed that. And of course, you know what, Doug, I might be the only one who likes Cleveland's old uniforms better than their new ones.
Right. Well, brown is brown, white is white. You know the story. The uniforms are the least of my concern as a Browns fan. But this year, probably more than any other year, I've just been so let down by Cleveland. And not necessarily for the wins and losses, because we've gotten used to that. But the lack of being able to move your team from where you are to success. And what I mean is they have named Johnny Manziel to be the quarterback for the rest of the season. And I've been waiting for that to happen for the entire year. It never made any sense to me to start Josh McCown unless it were personal. And my thought behind that is, at the beginning of the season, you didn't know whether Johnny Manziel could actually play in the NFL or not, and you've had him for over a year. My suggestion was to start this young man for the entire season. I don't care if he goes 0-16, 0-7. It doesn't make any difference to me. Play him. And at least at the end of the year, you're going to know whether he can play or not and whether you should keep him or move on and turn the page. But we weren't able to answer that question, and finally they said to themselves, let's start this kid the rest of the season. So we may be able to salvage this season a little bit, at least in regards to seeing whether the kid can play. With all of his personal problems, I never remember anybody saying that he couldn't do the job on the field. He always could do it at Texas A&M. We need to see whether he could do that now in the NFL. In regards to Peyton Manning, and I have the stats in front of me, ESPN's got an article out there on their website right now that says, did Peyton Manning, is he a Hall of Famer that stayed too long? And I got to say, the answer to that is no. They are 7-2. His stats are way down from what we're used to, but the team's 7-2. He has 9 touchdown passes for 17 picks. That's not a good season by anybody's standards. But we have just learned now that he's got plantar fasciitis and he's torn it. So that's going to matter when you're trying to escape the pocket or really try to plant your foot to throw. So there's a medical reason behind it. That being said, I could never understand why a millionaire of many times over wanted to play after neck surgery, but he's been successful since he's come back and since he's been a Bronco. But has he stayed too long? I think that's unfair to say, given that he's had that medical problem with his foot, and they're 7-2, right?
Right. Well, how about the Redskins? I just saw them play the Saints, dominated the Saints. They're relevant again, Coach. It's rare that you can say the Redskins in late November are relevant, but that division is so topsy-turvy with the Eagles having their quarterback issues. Right. The Cowboys seem like they're basically out of it whether Romo's back or not. The Giants are up and down, even though they played the Patriots well. This is, the Redskins have an opportunity here to knock off Cam Newton and the Panthers. That is not a big, the giant Patriots. I mean, this team can still be beaten even though they're undefeated.
Yeah, well, listen, I think Carolina certainly is a good team, and I wouldn't underscore that. I think Cam Newton is playing great. Their front four is doing great, and their defense is right there, too. So this is going to be a tall order for the Washington Redskins. But I do believe that you are correct. They are back. They are relevant. They're only a half game out of first place to the Giants. They get to play them again. So the Washington Redskins fans right now have a lot to look forward to. I think we got to take it a step back further. Where and what, Redskins are 4-5. That's, lackluster by anybody's standards. However, as you said, in that division, they're only half game out. They're relevant, and they could still get in. Dallas, in my opinion, is out at 2-7. But the Eagles, Redskins, and Giants is up for grabs. But I do believe it has to do with Kirk Cousins is just now starting to feel like this is his team. And for a lot of people, you got to understand, you can't just be named a starting quarterback and then feel like it's your job. The players have to respect you. They're going to want you there. They're going to feel comfortable with you. They're going to want to get your back and run through a wall for you. And I'm starting to think that Kirk Cousins is just now starting to get comfortable there, and the players are starting to get comfortable and believe that he can deliver them to the playoffs. So I think there's a lot of factors there, but certainly the Redskins have a lot of reason to be excited.
Going to leave you a couple notes. The Bengals just lost their first game this past week, of course. A very good game by the Texans, who have been up and down as well. It just seems like nobody in the AFC really wants it except for the Patriots that bad. And the Jets, oh my goodness, and the Bills game when they had the Christmas tree uniforms on this past week was just horrible. But I want to get your thoughts on the state of Ohio. Obviously, their two top teams are, you mentioned, the Browns and the Bengals. And the Bengals, had a great year. How far can the Bengals evolve in 2015 with Dalton?
Well, first of all, being from Ohio, I can say the top team in Ohio is Ohio State Buckeyes, and has been for a while.
Of course. NFL.
But in regard to the top team in the NFL, you've got, Cincinnati. Cincinnati, it's all going to come down to Andy Dalton. I hate to say this, but everything's on him. He's been to the playoffs 4 times, and he's lost 4 times. And to be honest with you, the fans down there, they're enjoying winning because Cincinnati certainly can remember the times where it was like Cleveland. They would, lose all the time. So they'll take this. But if Andy Dalton really wants to take that next step and be an NFL quarterback that is talked about in the top 5, he's going to have to win a playoff game. And, what are they, 9-1 right now, 8-1? They're 8-1. So they're making great strides. They're going to get one of the buys if they continue to play this well. It's all on Andy Dalton right now to take that team to the next level and to take himself from good quarterback to great quarterback, at least with the current players right now.
Very good. All right, Coach, thanks a lot for joining us. We'll get you on again soon. Always enjoy talking to you on the radio. Again, plug your Twitter handle one more time.
At Coach D. Merrill.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
All right, Greg. You as well.
Thank you, Coach. All right, Coach Merrill, former colleague of the game, Ken, right there. We'll take a short break. We'll come back with What Teased Me Off and a lot more after these messages.
Good Italian food, daily specials, and a place people enjoy is Spaghetti Eddie's. Indulge in your mouth-watering pizza, pasta, subs, salads, appetizers, and desserts. Open 7 days a week. Log on to SpaghettiEddiesPizzaCafe.com and visit them at Taylor Road and on Eden Way North in Chesapeake for lunch and dinner. Like them on Facebook. Italian food you can count on is at Spaghetti Eddie's. When it comes to automobile service in Hampton Roads, Fink's Car Care is the destination locals have counted on for decades. Family owned and operated, they specialize in transmission service, oil changes, state inspection, radiator service, tires alignments, and showcase Win automotive products. Fink's does it all. Military and senior discounts are available. Find them on Facebook and visit them on South Military Highway in Chesapeake and Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth, Monday through Saturday. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573 today.
Mi Hogar is your restaurant for the finest Mexican cuisine in Hampton Roads. At Mi Hogar, everything is prepared fresh in a casual atmosphere. Enjoy traditional favorites such as quesadillas, tacos, burritos, and fajitas, as well as refreshing beverages. Mi Hogar has 2 locations, 4201 Granby Street in Norfolk and 801 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Call ahead at 640-7705. At Mi Hogar, there is something for everyone.
Tune in to the Sports Philosophy Show featuring former professional sports general manager and NCAA sports announcer Jack Ankerson, along with 22-year NCAA coach Darryl Cummings. They have unique and insightful views on sports and will talk to guests throughout the sports world. The Sports Philosophy Show can be heard Wednesday 1 to 2 p.m. on WHKT 1650 AM in Hampton Roads and worldwide using the TuneIn.com radio app. For more information, go to thesportsphilosophy.show.com. Now back to Greg Bicouvaris and Sports Scene in the Hampton Roads Online Mall.com studio.
I knew my rent was gonna be laid up about a week ago. I worked my ass off, but I still can't pay it though. But I got just enough to get off in this club and have me a good time before my time is up. Hey, let's get it now.
All right, Kenny, thanks a lot. Abbreviated version of Sports Scene already. Hard to believe it. 12:51. Sports Philosophy Show coming up right after this as well. And don't forget, welcome to the Butcher Son Chop House in Chesapeake, serving the finest in steaks and seafood. Like the Butcher Son Chop House on Facebook, and they're open 7 days a week at 5 p.m. with Sunday brunch at 9 a.m. This premier establishment has the best in steaks, of course, humanely free, treated beef, poultry, and pork, 500 South Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Of course, Kenny, before we get to What Teased Me Off, anticipation a month away from the Star Wars movie. Let's give the fans a little extra treat as we get a week before Thanksgiving with the trailer.
Who are you?
I'm no one.
I was raised to do one thing. But I've got nothing to fight for.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
There are stories about what happened.
It's true. All of it. The dark side. A Jedi. They're real.
The Force. It's calling to you. Just let it in.
And it still gives you a lot of goosebumps. We played it before, but still a month away, Kenny. It's getting exciting.
Yeah, for anyone that's, for just the new fans, it's still cool. But for anyone that remembers seeing the very first movie and the impact it had, and then waiting for the second one and on and on and on, to realize how many years it's been, it's part of your life.
Oh my God, it's part of my entire adult life.
If you're 40 plus, it's been a part of your life for most of your life. So it's become almost like family. When you see Harrison Ford as Han Solo, when you see Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, any of those guys, they're like family members to you. Even Darth Vader, I am your father. You know, he's not my dad, but still.
Right. And before we get to what teased me off, I want to, our hearts and prayers go out to all the people in Europe and France, and, may their memory be eternal, and we hope safety and peace come to that region very, very close. Ken, with that note, let's get to what teased me off.
What Tees You Off? Presented by GJBTV.com.
As we get, of course, that teased me off. What happened to the poor people in France? All the best to you. Godspeed to you guys. Ken, it's the holiday season, and here's what you don't want. Turkey that tastes like chicken.
It's like eating chicken that tastes like turkey.
I had some stuffing this past Sunday. Of course, I'm not going to say where. Of course, it's not Thanksgiving yet, but it was filled with rice, and that's not the main ingredient for stuffing.
I have seen some of the weirdest stuffings with cranberries in it in some cases, rice, as you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Stuffing is traditional. It's bread, some seasoning,
like stovetop, really. It really
you're
is.
done. I mean, don't screw it up.
No, my mom made some really good Greek stuffing back in the day. All right, customer service, Ken, from first shift to second shift. What a drop off it is, especially grocery stores. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, sometimes there's none.
Ken, players celebrating too much when they score. I mean, act like you've been there before. We've talked about this before on Sports Scene.
Yeah, you did a good thing. You scored good. Everyone saw it. Everyone's digging you right now. Give it a break. Just say, thank you, I'm done.
Right. Holiday sales, Ken, they're so early that people are numb now for Christmas because they've seen it since October.
The decorations on High Street in Portsmouth went up on October 30th. That's a little ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Restaurant personnel, Ken, fiddling and cleaning near your table where you're eating at.
Spraying the table next to you, and the spray goes right across onto your food, and I'm thinking,
Gee, is there anything in this food that needed to be killed extra with chemicals? What's going on?
And they could also be cleaning somewhere else, too. Ken, how about just the lack of napkins at restaurants?
Yeah, why do you have to ask for napkins? It's food,
right.
Especially if it's messy, like pizza or something you use your hands with. Come on.
Or you have a bad experience at a restaurant and the owner says, I'll buy you a beverage the next time you walk in here. Really? A beverage, an iced tea that costs nothing?
That's going to really drag me back.
Yes. People walking around businesses or sporting events with ladders in their hands. Really? Keep the ladders away from me, folks. I don't need to see a ladder. Also, Steeler fans who don't like the Pitt Panthers, Ken, listen to this. You just heard an Ohio guy, Coach Merrill, on. But they like Ohio State and not Ohio NFL teams. Again, Steeler fans who don't like the Pitt Panthers but like Ohio State and not Ohio NFL teams. Really?
That seems like a split allegiance.
Exactly.
A little schizophrenic.
People walking in and out of players and just aimlessly, just walking around aimlessly. When you have something to do, folks, do it with direction and focus, of course. That'll make everybody's life a lot happier.
Especially in a business area where you are done with the day and you should be getting out and going somewhere else.
Also, things that programs that get interrupted can really, once in a while programs get interrupted, but really random is not that good when it comes to radio or TV programming.
No, not when you're expecting. You open a can of Coke, you want it to be Coke. You'd open a can of Coke, you don't want, sometimes it's an orange drink, sometimes it's a Sprite. You want what you want, you expect what you get, and, just arbitrarily changing things around for no purpose. That's no fun for anybody.
It's like 12 o'clock people expect to hear Sports Scene, which will be back next week. And in 2 weeks, Kenny, you'll be taking some time off. And, of course, that'll be like Coke wanted Diet Coke.
Yeah, well, the 2 weeks I'll be gone will be even better because then you'll have the marvelous and excellent producer.
Right.
Extraordinaire.
And she'll actually enjoy working this show.
Yes.
and
Courtney's going to be in here.
And I feel bad for you because you love doing your traffic and weather. Today, this must have really just been a bad hair day for you because even though you do stuff for other stations, you got totally interrupted today. There's a movie called Girl Interrupted. Should be Ken Interrupted today.
Yeah, pretty much. But, we got it done. And there's some stuff going on out there I didn't have time to find out about. So just be careful out there.
All right, for more, go to gjbtv.com. Hit the YouTube link. Again, thank you to Coach Merrill. Abbreviated version of Sports Scene will be back next Wednesday from 12 to 1. For Ken Johnson, happy Wednesday. I'm Greg Bicouvaris. We'll talk to you soon, and the Sports Philosophy Show is coming up next.
AM 1650 WHKT Portsmouth. News is next, followed by Sports Philosophy. Stay tuned. It's 1 o'clock.